Deep within the heart of the ebony forest, where the trees stretched toward the heavens like silent sentinels, Amina finally arrived at the hermit sage's dwelling. The small hut, nestled between twisted roots and moss-covered stones, seemed to blend seamlessly with the ancient woods around it. The sage, a man with a beard like cascading silver and eyes that shimmered with timeless wisdom, welcomed her without a word, as if he had been expecting her arrival. Amina presented the moonstone with quiet reverence, her hands trembling not from fear, but from the weight of what she was about to uncover. The sage studied her face for a long moment before taking the stone in his gnarled hands. He closed his eyes, whispering incantations in a tongue older than memory itself. The air grew heavy, charged with unseen forces as the moonstone began to pulse softly. "The stone holds truth," the sage finally murmured, "but only under the light of the lunar triad will it reveal the full extent of its power." Amina listened intently, her heart pounding. That night was one of the rare triad moons, a convergence of three celestial bodies that cast an ethereal glow across the sky. The sage led her to a clearing bathed in moonlight, placing the moonstone upon a pedestal etched with sacred glyphs. He motioned for Amina to step back. As the light from the moons aligned and touched the stone, it began to shimmer with a brilliance neither of them had ever seen before. Then, slowly, ghostly images rose from it, visions of the past, fleeting but clear. Amina gasped as she recognized the truth reflected in them. Jano had not been the one chosen by the ancestors. Another man, humble and overlooked in the village's frenzy, had shared a moment of genuine connection with her, the true father of Tariq. The revelation shook her to her core. It wasn't just about Jano's deception, but about the future they had almost surrendered to a lie. The sage turned to her, his voice solemn yet steady. "Now you carry not just the knowledge, but the responsibility. Truth must be revealed, but peace must be preserved." Amina nodded, her eyes gleaming with newfound determination. She knew she couldn't return and simply expose the secret. A storm would follow, conflict, disbelief, perhaps even violence. But she also understood that silence would only allow the wound to deepen beneath the surface. The truth had to come to light, and she would be its bearer, carefully, wisely, and at the right moment. Cradling the moonstone, now humming softly as if alive, Amina made her way back through the forest. Every step she took was no longer just for her or her son, but for the soul of the village itself. "I have been expecting you, Amina," the sage said softly. "The forest whispers, and your plight has not gone unheard." Amina steadied her breath and recounted everything: the birth of Tariq, her journey to the sacred mountain, and the chilling conversation she had overheard between Jano and Nia. "I seek the truth, wise one," she concluded. "Can the moonstone still reveal who Tariq's father truly is?" The sage stroked his beard in deep thought before replying, "The moonstone is ancient, its power may be influenced but never fully corrupted. There is a ritual, long forgotten by most, but still known to me. It can cleanse the stone of deception." A spark of hope lit Amina's eyes as she listened closely. The sage continued, "You must perform the ritual of truth on the night of the new moon. The moonstone must be bathed in the sacred waters of Whispering Lake. Only then will it shine in the hands of the one who truly fathered the child." Armed with this knowledge and the sage's precise instructions, Amina returned to the village before dawn, slipping quietly into her home. Her heart thudded with a mix of hope, dread, and anticipation. She knew her next task: to retrieve the moonstone from its guarded sanctuary and prepare it for the ritual. The outcome could either set her free or unravel everything. She watched over Tariq as he slept peacefully, unaware of the storm surrounding his life. With the new moon just 3 nights away, Amina knew time was no longer her ally. She moved quietly, and with the help of a sympathetic guard who believed in her quest, she recovered the moonstone and hid it beneath the floorboards of her hut. It pulsed faintly, as though aware of the truth it would soon be forced to reveal. When the night of the new moon arrived, with Jano away at a council meeting and Tariq fast asleep, Amina seized the moment. Cloaked in darkness, she made her way toward Whispering Lake, her footsteps guided by the silent urgency in her chest. She reached the water's edge and, with trembling hands, lowered the moonstone into the shimmering lake. Whispering the sacred incantations given to her by the hermit sage, she completed the ritual. As the final word left her lips, the stone glowed with a soft, steady light. A surge of unseen energy rippled through the air. It was as if the spirits of the lake acknowledged her plea. Amina returned to the village, the moonstone hidden once more, but now cleansed and ready. That night, the village gathered for the Feast of Ancestors, a celebration meant to honor those who came before. But for Amina, it was a night of reckoning. As laughter and music filled the air, she stepped into the center of the gathering, holding up the moonstone. She declared it had been further blessed by the spirits and called upon every man who claimed to be Tariq's father to hold it. "Let the true father reveal himself," she said, her voice steady and clear. One by one, men approached, each taking the stone in their hands. Yet it remained still, its light dormant. Then came Jano. The villagers held their breath. The stone flickered but dimmed once more, refusing to glow. A hush fell over the crowd until a voice rang out from the back. "The stone doesn't just respond to the touch. It answers to the eyes that meet it." All heads turned to Nia, whose gaze sparkled with a strange mixture of excitement and fear. Amina looked into Jano's eyes, then down at the stone. At that moment, it shimmered violently before fading into complete darkness. The reaction was immediate: gasps, shocked whispers, and then silence. Jano stood frozen, his face drained of color. Then, Nia's laughter echoed through the night. "Even the best laid lies crumble before the will of the spirits," she declared. The village buzzed with unrest, disbelief, and confusion. The elders called an emergency council. The air was thick with tension. Nia was the first to speak. "We've all been caught in a web of deceit," she admitted. "But now we must face the truth, not fall into hatred." Voices clashed until Eldon Barker stood. His presence alone commanded silence. "The ancestors are displeased. We must restore balance. Amina, what would you have us do?" Her voice held no hesitation. "Another ritual. This time, before the river of truth. Let every man come forward, swear an ancestral oath, and be judged by the river's will." The council agreed. The ritual would take place at dawn. That night, no one slept. Dreams were restless, filled with whispers of secrets and winds of change. As the first light broke, the village assembled by the sacred river. One by one, the men dipped their hands into the water, reciting their oaths. The river remained still. No change, no light. Then came Jano. He looked at Amina one last time before stepping forward. He placed his hand in the river and spoke the oath. The water shifted slightly but did not change color, a sign he spoke truthfully, yet was not the father. A cry pierced the quiet. All eyes turned to see Marzi, a quiet, reclusive man, trembling as the river around his hand turned golden, the unmistakable glow of divine truth. "Marzi, son of Oko," Eldon Barker declared, "you are the true father of Tariq." The crowd gasped. Marzi stepped forward slowly, his eyes meeting Amina's. In that glance, she saw honesty, strength, and a kindness she hadn't known she was missing. As he stood beside her, Eldon Barker spoke again. "The river has spoken. Let us honor this truth. And those who led us astray shall answer for it." Jano and Nia stood before the village the next day. Jano, stripped of his title, was ordered to serve the community in penance. Nia lost her role as oracle, her seat to be filled through divine selection. Both offered public apologies, their shame heavy but not without the possibility of redemption. Life began to shift. The village, once divided, found unexpected harmony. The harvests flourished. Disputes dwindled. Even Jano, changed by disgrace, found his way back through humility. And Nia began a quiet life of reflection, her insights now free of manipulation. Amina, Marzi, and Tariq stood at the beginning of something new. Not perfect, but grounded in truth and mutual respect. "I will honor this gift of responsibility," Marzi said, his words simple but sincere. The village would never be the same. But what it became, stronger, wiser, more united, was something greater. And so, from the ashes of betrayal rose a story not of ruin, but of renewal. For once the truth is known, it cannot be buried. It can only illuminate the path forward. Thank you for following this journey. Sometimes the road to truth is steep, but it is always worth walking, because in the end, truth sets us free. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next one.